review for you all today. Today I'm going to be taking a look at A Brief History of Time Lords, which is the brand new Doctor Who book from Penguin Random House that has just been released. I've noticed that recently when they release the storybooks, they do tend to also release a few factual books every so often here and there as well. And this time they've not gone with a random subject like the Daleks that they can easily do the whole history of, or the Cybermen, or any other generic monster. This time they've gone with a rather mysterious race from Doctor Who, arguably the most famous race in Doctor Who because they are the one that the actual main protagonist is from. However, it's also the race that we don't know everything from, hence why this is called A Brief History of Time Lords, because literally we don't know everything, and if we did know everything, it definitely wouldn't be able to fit in a book like this. So this book is generally all the information that you sort of need to know, plus information that's a little bit bonus as well, and things like other additional features that you may or may not know about the Time Lords. It covers the classic series as well as the new series, and generally overall brings you up to date. So it's a rather interesting read actually, and something of which I was rather interested to take a look at. If you are a Doctor Who book fan, then previously I have also reviewed the Doctor Who Series 10 books, all three of them in sort of like a generic overview of all of them so far, giving what I like, dislike, and generally keeping it a little bit spoiler free. I don't tend to go into many details, but yeah, I have also reviewed them, and also if you're interested to see how these fit into Doctor Who Series 10, if you are interested in them, I highly recommend checking out the review. This book is slightly different to the previous ones that I reviewed. As I said, the other ones were sort of storybooks. This one is not exactly a storybook, it is a little bit more factual, however it's been made a little bit more personal as well, and it is generally a little bit of a different format from the others. I don't think it's exactly consistent to any of the others. I've not exactly seen a book similar to this on the market, which, not going to lie, the design on it is absolutely brilliant. It is of course a standard book underneath, which is sort of like a teal blue colour, and then we have this really nice embossed effect on the front with a ton of Gallifreyan text, the current Doctor Who logo, and then we have a brief history of the Time Lords and the lovely neck brace piece that we've seen in Doctor Who for a long time. Then on the back we don't really get too much. Also we get a little neck brace once again, along with a few of the areas that you can get in the Gallifreyan High Council, which is something rather fun. Doesn't really go into it at all, it doesn't really say what it's about really, because it is a mystery subject, so it is sort of a thing that they've kept very brief. And then on the side as well, because I have noticed I do tend to like a good spine when it comes to a book. As you can see, we do have Doctor Who there, and then once again the titling nicely done, and I do love the font of the way that they've written Time Lord. Just in case you're wondering, comparing it to a standard Doctor Who book, as you can see just lining that up, it is a little bit taller and a little bit wider, no doubt to compensate for the graphics and pictures that are inside this, because unlike these ones, they do in fact have quite a lot of nice images in, and it is mostly images as well as text as well to accompany it, so it is a very nice format, and generally overall it is still hardback, and the paper is very nice and glossy as well. So overall for quality of making, it is in fact pretty nice. Much like the previous releases that I also reviewed, you can probably get this from the majority of book sales, so probably Forbidden Planet will get some, W.H. Smith. Waterstones, no doubt, I don't particularly know, it'll probably vary between each shop around the UK, I guess. Out of seas, I don't even know where you could buy this, probably just your generic sci-fi stores that normally stock Doctor Who things. However, if you don't have any of those shops near you, I do believe that Penguin will be probably selling it directly, along with Amazon as well. Probably that everywhere stocks everything on Amazon, doesn't it? But yeah, I think that's on there currently for $12.99 or $11.99, something like that, probably with postage added on top as well if you don't have Amazon Prime or whatever the hell goes on with Amazon these days. I don't know. All I do know is I did buy a DVD from there once that cost $14.99. However, they bumped the price up to 50 quid. I got my 50 quid back though, luckily, so that's good. But yeah, that's a little gripe about Amazon for you, but that's available in quite a lot of places, so if you're interested, go and buy it. But anyway, moving on to the actual book itself, I don't really know where to start with this, because unlike the other ones, it's not exactly a story. It sort of just has several different sections where it goes on about, say, the High Council and the different parliamentary rules and things like that. I'm not gonna lie, being the addicted fan that I am to Doctor Who, I will admit I in fact learnt things about this. I must admit, when it comes to slight details about Gallifrey, such as the High Council, the Castellan, and all the different versions that we've seen so far, such as Borusa, Rassilon, my knowledge does get a little bit hazy. So yeah, I did actually learn things from this, along with the education of the Time Lords as well. So I'm presuming if I learnt things from this, then no doubt you may too. You know, it's one of those things that I did willingly sort of read and think, oh, I didn't really know that before, or oh, I understand that a little bit more now. And somehow it sort of gave a little bit more of an understanding to Hellbent, because so far it will get outdated eventually, as with most things of Doctor Who that are factual, but this does go all the way up from the very beginning to Hellbent. As you can see, the last pages are of course about Hellbent, and we do have a few nice images of the 12th Doctor and Clara as well. So the book starts off with this really nice graphic of, I do believe, the War Doctor. Looks a little bit like the War Doctor. Somebody sat on sort of like the outline and terrain of Gallifrey. We have a few of the glass orbs in the background there. I do believe that has been made exclusively for this release. I think that the graphic design on it is lovely. We do even get a few bits of Gallifreyan text in there, sort of on the stones and things like that. Generally a really nice opening to the book, and I do believe that that is also on Amazon, so if you would like to have a quick look at that sort of in more detail, then you can do. But yeah, generally overall, the layout is rather good. As you can see, it does follow this all the way throughout, sort of making it look like a Gallifreyan ancient text or something like that. So I have a few bits of Gallifreyan text here, and the seal of Rassilon sort of engraved within the page, having the seal emblem there. And then the text as well is generally sort of in quite a standard font, however it does have serifs and things in as well, once again backing up sort of that rather text-like feel. A nice little picture of Gallifrey to set off in sort of a very nice red design, once again with a bit of Gallifreyan text in there. I must admit, if you're looking for pretty graphics of Gallifrey and things like that, then this book is definitely for you, even if you're not a type to read. I think that just flicking through the pictures is pretty nice, to be honest, which is something I would have said quite a while ago, but that said, I did really enjoy reading this one as well. So we've got, once again, some Citadel images of Gallifrey, and it goes on to the Citadel itself, different locations, such as like the Mountains of Solitude and things like that, the Panopticon, the Capitol Museum, and even the High Council itself went in session. The classic series itself, such as the sort of prison rooms and things like that, all those little parts that you see in the classic series that are admittedly rooms that have just been rehashed from other parts of the set, made to look like something else with additional set dressing, but you know, it's just little rooms such as the capsule landing bay, the space traffic control room, even the execution room and things like that seen in The Deadly Assassin. It really does bring everything together really nicely, along with some new series stuff such as the Gallifrey High Command room from the Day of the Doctor, and the capsule repair shop from the very beginning, I do believe, of the Day of the Doctor. Or was that the name of the Doctor? I can't particularly recall. Generally, overall, it does go in chronological order. As you can see, Chapter 1 is about the Dark Times, and we go into sort of all of the people, such as the Rachnos and the Sisterhood of Khan, and all the people that really sort of outlined Gallifrey from the very beginning, such as the original Time Lords, the people who created time travel. We have a lot on Omega, and the ways that we had all the antimatter universe and things like that, which, once again, I can sort of remember knowing that knowledge, but once reading this, it sort of refreshed my memory and understanding of what happened. And I generally finish this book sort of feeling, yeah, I understand the Time Lords a little bit better now, which I guess is the main aim. Even just big illustrations such as this, the Death Zone now of all lightning strikes coming from it. Once again, if you're a classic fan, some really nice stuff like this, some really nice graphic design. I do believe this is exclusive to this release. I just think splitting up all the text and things like that, it does really nicely lay out sort of the different parts and segments, nicely separating it out, which is good to see. And then even illustrations such as Omega there in black and white. I think it's a really nice sort of, a really nice style, I think. It's something unique and different. I don't believe any other books do in fact follow this format, and even little references there to the Hand of Omega. From what I understand, it covers the majority of events of the classic series and then goes into the brief events of the new series as well. In Chapter 4 of the book, we also go on to the different things such as how you become a Time Lord and the Untempered Schism and things like that from the new series. I believe that was a new series idea. I can't recall it being in the classic series. But we also get a few sections that are the ones that were inspired, the ones that run away, the ones that turned mad, which was, I do believe, something that was mentioned in Series 3, Last of the Time Lords. But yeah, we do get a few examples of people all the way throughout the classic series and new series. Even the smaller roles that have been in that end up being like killed at the end of the story, such as Andro, and then even the guy from The Day of the Doctor, Androgar, something like that, which was only just one of the main people from the presidential room thing when they did No Sir All 13, one of the people in the background. And it just goes through all the people, even the Inquisitor from Trial of a Time Lord, even the General, also known as Ken Bones, yay, even goes into him a little bit and sort of his life and mentioning like female incarnations and things like that. Versions of the Castellan, Commander Maxil in there as well, even Castellan Scoundrel and the reporter guy, the Deadly Assassin. It really does give a lot of different bits of details of all the minor people that we've seen, as well as the main people as well, such as the Master, Goth, Barusa, which I was a little bit confused about Barusa to start with, and has sort of filled in a few of the knowledge and a few of the bits of the knowledge that I was missing, so that was good to see. But yeah, I think that my main thing for this section that I would have sort of liked was maybe a sort of Time Lord timeline type thing, even though with it being very large, it would probably be hard to fit into a page like this, but it may be nice to see sort of a line of the presidency that we've seen so far in Doctor Who. I think in A Deadly Assassin it claimed that it was on the 406th president, so maybe from the deadly assassin to survival and seeing all the different things such as Chancellor Flavia era, which apparently was very unstable and not very strong at all. Political reference right there. But yeah, sort of something that once again she was overthrown, Romana got sort of control. It was really nice to sort of have a little bit of, in a way, presidential relating stuff and a timeline of, oh, this era. You know, it gave a bit of realism to the Time Lord universe to an extent, and sort of their lives and things like that. And as I say, it's just nice because it was a bit of a break from normal human politics for once, because let's face it, we've fed up with presidents and elections these days, because we've had about 4 elections in the past several years now. It gets a little bit annoying and repetitive, doesn't it? Let's face it. And then near the very end, we also go into the Time War as well, and once again goes into the War Doctor. Lovely image there from the end of time of the Rassilon, the 10th Doctor and the Master, nicely fighting it out, with the Master looking all angry and things like that. And we go into the different choices of the Time War, even onto Trenzalore, and once again, this is where my knowledge got a little bit hazy, because I didn't really understand some parts, how this sort of filled it in, of the Doctor getting a new regeneration cycle and things like that. And then we even lead on to Hellbent, of course, a lovely image of Rassilon once again there in black and white, and saying how the High Council have left Gallifrey and things like that, and once again could potentially leave it open to a sequel type of thing maybe, although it'll probably need to be a few good years. When I say a few, I mean about 50 good years before we could get an actual sequel to this. But yeah, I think it's a nice little way to overall, literally, a brief history of sort of everything we know so far about the Time Lords. But this is one thing that I don't know if they could help or not. I don't know if for legal reasons they couldn't do it, for pictures, I don't know. But it would have been nice to see a little bit of Big Finish referencing in there, because I have read the whole thing from beginning to end, and from what I could see, there wasn't really any Big Finish relating things in there. Even on the Master thing, when it gave the different incarnations of the Master, it didn't give the Alex McQueen one, and I was a little bit like, oh, it would be nice to see that included in there. But as I say, if they can't include that for legal reasons, then fair dues, I guess. But yeah, it may have been nice to maybe partner up to an extent for this release and have a few images in there, as well as a few explanations to episodes such as Master on Big Finish as well, maybe a few of the events in Master, or even the whole of the Master trilogy from last year, where we had the different incarnations of the Master coming together and things like that. But yeah, it may be nice to see a few references in there. It did give a few questionable references to other things as well, even suggestions such as the hybrid being Rose Tyler, because she was sort of a cross between different things and stuff like that, as well as Lady Me. Overall for this, it is a nice read for a general summary, not giving all the details because it's physically impossible to, and it's a nice little factual piece that if you want to learn some stuff about the Time Lords, then I highly recommend it. And other than that, it may be nice, as I said, to see a few other details in there from the external stuff that was arguably questioned as uncanon up until a few years ago. However, I'm glad that has been rectified in some cases. But yeah, it may be nice to see a few of that in there. But as I said, I don't know if they would be allowed to for legal stuff. And also, accompanied with all the information, it is a generally good read. As well as that, the pictures and the publishing and generally the layout, it really does look like it's had a lot of interest put into it. All the different screen grabs that have been used, the researching into the characters, you can even tell by the very end where you have a few acknowledgements. You can tell by having a few names listed that this has had quite a lot of input from different people, from checking that all the information was okay and things like that. You know, this will be a rather reliable release for all the facts, and I'll be shocked if anything on the inside is in fact sort of incorrect in any way. But to be honest, it is the Time Lords, so it's probably quite easy to slip up on them, as I say, because it is a rather mysterious and hazy area of Doctor Who. So yeah, accompanied with the text being really good and the general layout being really inspired, having all those nice little sort of transcripts and things. I'll try and find one, but we do have a few examples such as here, even copies of the scripts from the actual stories. Here we have sort of a conversation between Hildred, Castellan Scoundrel, and the Doctor from the Deadly Assassin, accompanied with some pictures and things like that to back up the text on the previous pages. It just shows a lot of effort has been put into it to actually have the most accurate information possible, along with the most accurate evidence. Yeah, if you're a Time Lord fan or generally want to know more about the Time Lords, then I highly recommend this release. And as well, it's hardback, and I think that I have a thing for hardback books, because paperback is just a little bit annoying. But yeah, this is generally a really nice looking thing, and a really nice thing to read as well. So that's that for this review. I hope you've enjoyed it. As I said at the very start, you can order this and buy it from many different places such as Amazon and general book retailers throughout the UK. And I guess I will see you all in the next review, or possibly even the next book review as well. I'd like to try and take a look at something a little bit different, and I hope that is something that you have all enjoyed. And if you've not checked out my Series 10 reviews yet, as I said at the very beginning, I highly recommend checking out those book reviews as well if you are interested in that form of book. Thanks for watching this review. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a big like, please subscribe if you're not already. If any questions, please do leave them below, and I'll be sure to answer them at some point in the near future. Thanks again for watching. I will see you all next time. So thanks for watching, and bye for now.